is to bring people's awareness back to the reality that this is our only life. And so the actual title of the retreat, of the one-day retreat, is Waking Up to This Life, because this is our only life. And even if there are, for some people, future lifetimes, why should we postpone our happiness from this life? Why aren't we just happy here and now? And so many people are unhappy with our human condition that it's nice to sit and share the reality of how things really are. Things are impermanent, and everything will come to an end. So why postpone our happiness?
The retreat it's kind of in some ways designed for people who are in addiction recovery.
Well, it started off very much as a support for people in the early stages of recovery from alcohol and other drugs, very much out of my own suffering, out of my own pain in the early years of my recovery. I thought there must be an easier way to make that transition from alcoholic or drug addict to just being human. So
why might this approach to addiction recovery be any different to the more traditional methods that we're used to hearing about?
My original intention was to help ex-alcoholics and drug addicts. But since that time, it's become blatantly obvious, very, very clear to me on a daily basis, an experiential basis, that these practices apply to everyone. That we're all in recovery from something, be it recovery from food addictions, from Facebook, from love, from codependency, from anxiety, from depression. We're all in recovery from something, and the Buddha said 2,600 years ago. He said lots of people can be free of bodily disease, but you won't find hardly anyone in the world who can claim to be free from mental disease. And as I move through life, I can see that more and more. So our mental health, our mental well-being becomes increasingly more important to me, certainly my own mental health and well-being, and that of others as well. So these retreats are just expanding in their interest and those who come along.
When someone is attending the Waking Up to This Life workshop, what can people expect?
There'll be an introduction talk with just looking at life from a Buddhist perspective, looking at life as something that's impermanent, and marrying that together with this idea of, we're not a fixed, unchanging self. I'm not the same person I was at 17. When I knew I was an alcoholic. I'm not the same person I was at the age of 39 when I stopped drinking after all those years, and certainly now at the age of 61. I'm not that same person again. In fact, I can see that I change on a daily basis. I'm not fixed. So intermingled with that, there'll be some sitting practice, just some very basic breath practice, just to calm the breath, relax the body, just to quieten the mind a little bit. Thoughts are not our enemies. But neither are thoughts ourselves, So we get to recognise that thoughts come and go, and we'll do that on the cushion, and we'll do it on our walking path. We'll do some nice walking meditation, backwards and forwards, up and down.
You can book your place on the Waking Up to This Life retreat directly on the organiser's website. Details of all Hungry Ghost retreats are available on the Hungry Ghost website at www.hungryghostretreats.org.